What is shaking? Welcome to the post-game show brought to you by Fieldwork, the official non-alcoholic craft beer of the San Jose Sharks. And as you can see, I only have one of my two partners here. Michael Myers is here. He's always here. And then the seat next to me is empty, but he's here because technology, and he's live from Melbourne, Australia. It's our first ever international post-game show. So I want to thank Berg for coming on with us while he's on vacation. What's up, Bergie?
Cheers, mate. Got to get in with the lingo. I've probably heard that 100 times already.
Had any Fosters yet?
No, you know what? You were right. The Foster's is like the low end.
It is
and
low
so,
end.
I haven't even seen it. I've had a couple other different kinds. I had a Bell's. I had a Stony Point. Oh, they were good. Very good.
I've never had those. I mean, you probably don't get them up here, but yeah, you probably ask for a Foster's down there. It's like asking for a Budweiser here.
Yeah, they look at you like you're an idiot. You know what? I had one person tell me today in a store that she goes, I could listen to your accent all day. And I don't have an accent.
What are you talking about?
It's vice versa. I can listen to her accent the whole time.
Well, it's funny because I think people outside of California think we have an accent, like Boston accent, New York accent, the South, definitely an accent. But California, unless you say bruh every other word, then I guess that's what happens when you live here your whole life. You don't pick up on the accent.
It's how about that dude, fucking one or the other.
How about that fucking win? I mean, I feel like we've said that about 3 times, if not 4 times this year. I mean, they got Lucas's running around out there, Bethune's running around out there, Gifford's running around out there. They got dudes. I'm like, okay, who are these guys? Yeah, I gotta go look them up, see where they came from. I didn't know that Chase Lucas went to ASU. That's a negative, but we'll forgive him because of 4th down stop, and he played really well tonight. He was in Detroit after he got drafted. I want to say it was in the 7th round of 2022, but they're literally conjuring stuff. And I don't want to say these guys can't play because you're in the NFL. You can play. I always tell people that you're playing pro sports, you can play. But seriously, I mean, Atlanta just put it on Buffalo the week before. They come out here and they just completely get shut down.
Yeah, I mean, you talked about it. I forget, was it Miami that used to be the no-name defense? And yes. I think they've just inherited the new no-name defense. And you know what? I thought that they did such a good job of putting pressure on Penix, specifically in the second half. There was more pressure put on him tonight than I've seen on any of the quarterbacks they've played so far. And I mean, you're not going to stop Bijan Robinson. I mean, he had about 20 touches, and every time he touches it, he gets yards. But they did a great job of limiting everybody else. And they just made the plays when they needed to, which it seems to be the case with the solid coach defense. And they forced big turnovers, and we've talked about that all year. The turnovers and winning that battle, that's a huge deal, and it proved true again today.
Yeah, I think we take a guess what Bijan Robinson's longest run was tonight.
I bet his longest run was about 14 yards.
8
yards.
8 yards. That is it. 14 carries, 40 yards, 2.9 yards a carry. I thought that was obvious. I mean, look, Bijan's going to do what he does, and he still caught the ball, scored the touchdown, made some plays. But man, that is your focal point of their offense, is stopping him, and nobody really has. He shredded Buffalo last month, absolutely shredded them, and then they bottled him up. I mean, that was just an amazing defensive effort.
Yeah, and I mean, Bethune was all over the place. Obviously, he doesn't play with the same. I mean, he's not as quick as Warner. He doesn't diagnose plays as quick, but he made the right calls. He kept them in the right defense. I thought Solid dialed that pressure more tonight than he has all year. And he forced Penix to throw a little bit earlier than he wanted to. And I mean, I thought the fourth quarter, their defense was fantastic. And the best it's been. It's like the guys, they rose up to the challenge, and it was a big challenge going in. I mean, you're right. Atlanta was playing so well last week. They destroyed Buffalo, who's arguably the best team in the league. Probably, they were going in at least. And for the Niners to come out, and they really just dominated. They didn't even get the ball that much. I mean, when they did, they drove the ball. They ran the ball the best
Yep.
they've done all year. And you
Yep.
you you brought up the point about having some of the tight ends back, having Kittle back, and that had a huge factor in it. I also think that the offensive line kind of rose to the occasion, run blocking wise. They still got a long
Yep.
ways to go, pass protection wise, but uh,
Yep.
great win. And I mean, a couple of special teams. They gave up a big kickoff return
And that was the
that
only
could have been
touchdown that
huge.
Atlanta scored was
Yeah,
after that kickoff return. That was it. That was
yeah,
it. They shut him down. And we've talked about this over the course of the last few weeks. Mac Jones was a massive signing for them. I mean, look at how many games he's helped them win. He wasn't great tonight, but he made the throws that he needed to make. Scrambling could use a little work. That was more of a belly flop than a slide, but it was effective. But I'm going to tell you something. Now with the loss of Bosa, you can make a real good case that right there with the signing of Mac Jones in terms of importance is Bryce Huff. If they didn't have him, they'd have no pass rush. He got the sack and the fumble, and then he got another, which I thought was a fumble. I didn't think Penix had that control of the ball when he moved it forward. But anyway, doesn't matter. They won the game. But my goodness, those two signings right there, not heralded signings, not huge signings, but boy, they've really paid dividends. But Huff was a monster.
yeah. And you know what he did? He put so much pressure. He didn't always get to him, but he
Yep.
forced him to throw it early when he didn't get to him. And Penix is the type of quarterback, if you let him sit back there and throw in rhythm, he can throw with anybody. I mean, he can make every
Yep.
throw on the field, and he doesn't move great. And I think that if you put pressure on him like that and force him to step up, move around a little bit, he's not as effective. And Huff was all over it. And they got good push from the inside as well, and didn't give him a lot of room to step up on. And I mean, I don't know about you, but I thought that Atlanta made a couple of plays that huge difference in the game. I mean, obviously the end of the first half,
Yep.
when
Yep.
when he with the grounding with 10 seconds left and the runoff and not even getting a field goal attempt, and then there was a I believe it was a fourth down and they had too many men on the field defensively, and they gave the Niners
Yep.
a first down. It was 4th and 3, and they got a 5-yard penalty that kept the drive going for the Niners. Those two things I thought were huge plays that affected the game. That's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, look, we talked about Lucas's contribution and Bethune's contribution. They flashed stats up there. The tackles for loss, and we'll get into Kittle's importance to the running game because he didn't have one catch tonight, and he was massively important. But I think we're kind of burying the lead. Christian McCaffrey, good lord!
Oh,
I mean, this
yeah.
guy is right now, if he's not as good as he's ever been with the Niners, go back a couple years ago, maybe the stats were better, but he's certainly as important as he's been for the Niners. With the loss of all these guys, the ability to catch the ball to the backfield, run the ball, you said it, it's the best running game they've had this year, the best game on the ground they've had by far this year. And then all the catches, I think he had just a smidge over 200 yards total offense tonight. I mean, that guy, like, him and Bijan Robinson are a lot alike. There's no doubt about it. And Bijan's a little bit younger, but there's no question who was the best back on the field tonight.
No question. And what I liked about it is that they still were able to give him a blow. He touched the ball 31 times, but
Yeah,
I thought Robinson came on and
he
had,
did.
several good runs. He got a lot of plays and they were
Yep.
able to keep McCaffrey off the field and keep his legs fresh. And that's a huge deal right now with all the injuries they have. They've got to keep him fresh. And that's about the perfect amount of touches. He needs to touch the ball 30 times if they're going
Yeah.
to win without these guys. And until they get Ayuk back and Pearsall back and come to a full complement of people, he's going to have to. Obviously, when they come back, hopefully it shrinks a little bit. They can spread it around. But I mean, Robinson made a couple of nice runs tonight, and I thought that he contributed more tonight
Yep.
than he has throughout the season. But McCaffrey, my God, out of the backfield, he catches a 3rd and 13 play down to the 4-yard line or 3-yard line.
Yeah,
Great throw by Mac Jones. Terrific throw by Mac
was.
Jones. But there's not many running backs that run that route and catch that ball.
I was going to ask you that. How many is there another running back outside of this game? Because Bijan could do that. McCaffrey can do that. I can't think of any other backs that could run that route, catch that ball like that, or that teams would even coaches would even ask their running backs to do something like that.
You know what? I almost have to harken back all the way to Marshall Falk. You know, when they were the
Marshall
greatest show
Falk,
on,
yeah,
I mean, the greatest show on turf, the reason they were so good is they were able to flex him out as a receiver and keep their normal personnel in the game. And if you keep
yep,
your normal personnel in the game, then the defense can't substitute to nickel and dime. And all of a sudden, the linebacker's trying to cover those guys. And it's the same thing with McCaffrey. When you flex him out
yep.
and you have normal personnel and teams are forced to keep their base personnel, there's not a linebacker in the league that can cover him, let alone many safeties.
Yeah, you think of the guys over the last 25, 30 years that could do something like that. LaDainian Tomlinson, Marshall Falk, maybe Bijan, Christian McCaffrey. There's just not a lot of guys. And, Nick Wagner, ESPN, I believe, talked about Kittle's importance tonight and not catching the ball. But look, you put Kittle on there. We talked about it. He's 2 rushing touchdowns tonight. Of course, the one Colby dragged him in, and he shouldn't have been allowed to do that. But
Yeah.
hey, you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, I guess, and they got away with it. But Kittle's importance tonight was massive. But really, I mean, it still centers around Christian McCaffrey and his ability to do literally anything you ask him to do. Anything you could want a running back to do, that guy could do it, and he did it tonight. And they needed him to do it tonight.
And the little things that people don't even notice is like in pass protection. He's one of the best pass blocking running backs in the league. You know, he's not the biggest guy, but he's so smart. He knows
Yep.
exactly where to go, and he's not afraid to put his nose in there. And you watch him sometimes on some of these pass plays, and he just stones linebackers that come. So, and that's something that people take for granted that he can do. And I think that's one of the reasons why Robinson hasn't played that much is he doesn't quite have the protection
Yeah.
knowledge and ability that McCaffrey has. And that, I mean, with Mac Jones back there, as we know, he's not real mobile, but he
No.
needs as much protection as he can. And I thought Mac Jones really managed the game well tonight. I mean, he made great throws when he needed to. He got rid of the ball, played smart
Mm-hmm.
football like he has all year. You know, they didn't need him to throw for 300 yards this week. He still threw for a good amount, but he was very effective with what he did.
Talk about what type of impact having Kittle back has on the run game, because you have basically an extra offensive lineman. You have a tight end that can handle linebackers, defensive ends, and not need help. I mean, not a lot of tight ends can pull that off, and then have a guy obviously that can go out in the passing game. But I don't think it's a coincidence that McCaffrey has his best game. The Niners have their best game running the football, and it just so happened to coincide with George Kittle being back.
But and I saw a lot of 22 personnel out there where they had 2 backs, 2 tight ends
Yeah.
in. And really, in a sense, Juszczyk is so you got Juszczyk, you've got Kittle, and you've got either Tonjes or the other tight end in, and so you've got 3 guys blocking that are terrific athletes. The other team's not playing with more than 4 down guys, so you're going to get your best athletes on their best athletes more often, and that's what's happened. Is I thought the offensive line did a good enough job with the front 4. But those guys took care of the second level, moving off to the linebackers, scraping off the linebackers, getting to the edge that way, because they had success both running inside, in between the tackles and outside the tackles. Kittle just brings that. The same thing Warner brought to the defense. Kittle brings that to the offense.
Yeah.
He's so his plays infectious. He gets excited. He gets pumped up when guys do the right thing, and and it shows and it helps. I think it helps the offensive line. I think it helps the running backs. And so it's you can't say enough things. The stats don't lie. And if you look
Yeah.
at like it's how well he did, how McCaffrey did when Kittle was in there as opposed to when he wasn't. It's a big
No
difference.
doubt. Well, I thought because you're right. He brings that extra intensity to the game that Greenlaw brought on defense. He's no longer there. That Debo brought on offense. He's no longer there. Warner brings that, and Kittle brings that. And I think it's hugely important to have that type of guy on the field, kind of a psycho, if you will, especially since Warner's out. Like he's like kind of the guy, a tone setter, not just for the offense, but for the team too. When you see this guy selling out and do what he's doing on the football field, I think it's infectious.
It is, and it showed. I mean, they played with a lot of passion. I didn't know what to expect in this game because Atlanta
Yeah,
coming off the biggest win of the year and they're playing well. They got a young team. Niners coming off a tough loss, lose your best player on defense, and I didn't know what to expect. I didn't know what kind of game plan they'd have coming in. But I think everything was top notch. Salah's defensive game plan was phenomenal. I don't know if you noticed, but in the first series, he did something I'd never seen him do. He rushed three guys, but he ran a twist with it and brought a linebacker behind it, and he got huge pressure. It was not a look I've ever seen him do, and obviously Atlanta had
yeah,
neither. I didn't see him do it the rest of the game, but he did it on a third down and long and got him off the field with it. So things like that he brought that he hasn't done throughout the year, I think were beneficial for them, and they're going to have to keep doing that as opposed to relying on their front four all the time. You're going to see more blitzes like you did, and I think it forces the issue more. But I mean, shoot, they only gave up 13 points, and that's to
yeah.
a team that's been good. Or 10 points, was it? It might have
10
been
points. Yeah, 10.
10
10.
points. 10
Yep.
points.
Yeah, no, he's been fantastic. It's kind of what they've been hoping to have and looking for ever since D'Amico Ryans left. Salah left to take over the head coaching job of the Jets, and D'Amico was fantastic. He goes to Houston, and then it just hasn't worked. I mean, their defense hasn't been as good, and whatever it is, whatever in the mix between him and Shanahan and his defensive acumen, like you look at who they have on the field right now, and you're like, they shouldn't be able to play as well as
No.
they have been playing. I mean, it's just almost like inspired football, but there's something else there. When you play on a team that just figures out ways to win games, I think you start having that belief that you're just going to figure out a way to win the game. It empowers guys like, Chase Lucas comes in the game and he makes that huge fourth down play. I think at that time it was 13-10 because I think that was before the McCaffrey touchdown. Yeah, and it was fourth down and it was on the other side of the field, and he just makes a massive, massive play. And like, you get these situations where everyone's kind of contributing. Bethune was really big tonight. And just, again, aside from the one kickoff return that led to kind of a short field touchdown, the defense was just absolutely outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Well, and the one and the special teams was to Eddie Money again on fire.
Eddie Money, Mucho Pinheiro, and he's right down the middle. Not even a waiver.
Right down the middle. It's amazing. And they weren't, and it's not like there were chip shots. One of them was what, 56, 55?
Yep.
And he made it easily. So I mean, what a pickup he's been. My God, he's been a godsend for the special teams. That's for sure. Let me ask you this. One of the things that's bothering me, and they do it in the NFL, it seems to be the call of the year now, is the illegal contact. They called it on the 49ers twice that were just they would have gotten off the field. They prolonged the drive that way. And then you look at what they call and go, well, that happens every play. And that's the thing, is it's like it's such an arbitrary, they can call that every single time if they wanted illegal contact. And it's like they pick and choose when they want to do it. But I think that's a rule that they've got to look at.
It used to be they'd give you the 5 yards, and if you even touched them after 5 yards, they'd call it. So guys got used to not touching guys after 5 yards. Now you get guys that chuck them or they steer them. It's almost like, well, you can do it, but not too long. And now you're letting the refs kind of interpret what's too long. I'm with you on that, because I watch games. I'm like, well, he hit him after 5 yards, isn't that? But that is like the one that I thought was going to come back. The one that I thought was going to come back to bite him is when I think they had him like 3rd and 18, and they got two of them on the same play, kept the drive going. They didn't score on that, but I was like, oh man, that's brutal when you have a 3rd and 18. You're going to call something like that.
And they had absolutely no chance of catching the ball he threw. It was not going to be caught no matter what. He threw it out of bounds because he was going to get sacked, and they still call it. That's one of those where you go, you know what? It had no bearing on the play. Don't call it. And it's disrupting the flow of the game. It's that, and it's a tough job. Hey, listen, it's a tough job to get out there referee at that level, at any level. But if the consistency is the thing that you just don't see. And that was frustrating because it seemed like they called it on the Niners crucial times today. It's not just this game, but in past games. I've seen it in every game where, at a crucial time of any game, somebody gets called for that. And I go, well, that's a little odd that they would do that in that situation.
Yeah, and then just to circle back on Brian Robinson, most carries 9 since the Seattle game. and the most yards he's had on the ground in a Niner uniform. He had 36, so 9
Mhm.
for 36, and I thought he was really good. You know, the one play I thought was going to come back to bite him was when Mac Jones threw the deep ball underthrow to Robinson, and
And
he
he
just
dropped it.
whiffed it. It was like
He
he
did.
barely got a glove on that thing as it went through his hands. I'm like, oh, you got to catch that. That was going to be first down at the 20 going in. I was like, okay, you get that, you're in great shape. And he
Yeah.
dropped it. I was like, oh, that's going to come back to
And
cost
that's
him, but it
you've
didn't.
got to catch. You got to catch that in the
Yeah,
NFL. I mean, it didn't. I mean, it was a, it was an underthrown ball. I think specific on purpose, just to give him an opportunity to get it. And you know what, when all these guys come back, when they get Ayuk back, when they get Pearsall back, somebody's got to go.
yeah,
And you start looking at the little things that add up, the drops like that. He could very well be the guy that goes, because I mean, I think that Bourne has stepped up, and
yeah,
we know what Jennings can do. Although Jennings, they ran the,
yeah,
I mean, huge play when he just threw an absolute whiff on that block, then on the
yeah,
toss block. Oh my
yeah,
God! And
exactly.
that's what put him into 3rd and 13, where he hit
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey with the shot down the side. I mean, that
Yep.
was just an awful job of blocking on that. He did not want any part of that guy.
No, he's usually a pretty good blocker
He
too, and
is.
and the other one that got that kind of, I don't see him do it very often, was Mac Jones' pick. He kind of stopped short a little bit,
Yes.
like in the corner of his eye, he saw
Yeah.
the linebacker, and he kind of just reached out, but didn't fully commit to the ball and tipped off his hands. And they ended up getting the
Yeah.
interception on that. I thought that's usually one you see him kind of run through and grab, but he stopped a little short on that one.
Hey, those are the kind in film session he's going to get a lot of shit for those,
Yeah.
because people are going to say, "Look, you didn't want to block the end, and now you didn't want to catch because you didn't want to get hit going across the middle." And I don't think that's the case, but it comes off as that. That's for sure.
Doesn't it feel like, I know this isn't a tangible thing, but doesn't it feel like, I hate to say special season because who knows how it's going to end up, but they're tied with the Rams again, 5-2 in the West. Rams beat the hell out of Ogden's Jaguars over in London. Sorry, your Irish coffees didn't go down very smoothly this morning, Ogden. What are you going to do? But like they're just finding these ways to win without their guys. I mean, you think about it. Your starting quarterback is out. Your defensive end's out. Now your middle linebacker is out. And your best receiver is out. And probably the best receiver on your team this year is out. And oh, yeah, Kittle's been out all these games. It just, I mean, these are massive losses to any team, but they're kind of built around their stars. We talked about it. I think the highest priced guys they had, like their big stars going into the tonight's game outside of Kittle coming back, was Lenore, Williams, and McCaffrey. And that was it. Everybody else was like, okay, let's just see if we can hold this thing together. Not only have they held it together, like I mean, depending on how Seattle does tomorrow night against Houston, I mean, they're putting themselves in, you know what they're doing? They're giving themselves a margin for error. So if you have
Yeah.
like a bad loss or you have something that's like, oh, we should have won that game, but we let it get away. You've already had games that like you could have lost, but you didn't let it get away. Like you took it away from the opposition. So
Yeah.
you're kind of stacking those wins. And right now, to be 7 games in and 5-2, like if you'd have told me who was playing, how many games every one of these guys was available the first 7 games, I'd have said they'd have been lucky to go 3-4, let alone go 5-2.
Oh, 100%. And you know what's fun is each and every game, and I don't know if he'd ever admit to it, but I think Shanahan should be enjoying this, because it is as a coach, you got to find, okay, when you're watching film and preparing, you got to go, how are we going to beat this team? And each and every week, it's something different,
Yeah,
because it used to be where, you know what, we're going to run our stuff. This is what we're going to do. We're the Niners. We run the ball here. We run the zone play. We're going to hit the underneath stuff. We're going to do. That's what we do. Now he's kind of forced to look at film and go, how are we going to beat these guys? And his game plan changes week to week. It's not
yeah,
always the same thing. It's not the same guy doing it. Although McCaffrey obviously is going to be a big factor no matter what. But they're running different plays against different teams. They're running different things defensively against teams. So you're not seeing just the same exact thing every week. You're seeing a different attack, and I think it makes it fun for me to watch, because I'll go, how are they going to beat these guys? What are they going to do? And you really don't know till you start watching the game and see what their plan of attack is. Tonight it was, they specifically saw things in the run game that they could exploit, and they did it. And they haven't done that all year. You didn't see a lot of the same throws down the field that you have in weeks past, or the crossing
Yeah.
routes, those types of things. It was pretty basic in the pass game. It was just all run game tonight. So that's been fun to watch, and I enjoy watching it. It makes it a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, and I don't know, Huff, Michael Williams, Bethune, Winters, the cornerbacks, whoever, they did a great job of setting the edge on the Atlanta run game. They because they try to run the stretch too, and they could not get out there. Bijan could not find any seams. Everyone was flowing, but they stopped the edge. They made him cut back, and then everyone was coming. They had bodies around the ball, as they say, hats on the ball. They had a bunch of dudes there. I mean, it was critical that was going to be, because I mean, look, the offense, we both agree, like they did what they needed to do. They were efficient. Mac Jones made some good throws. They scored 20 points because it was such a low possession game,
Yeah.
which I think when you feel like we don't have all our guys, you try to shrink the game as much as you possibly can. They did a great job with that. But look, all that goes out the window if Bijan Robinson's able to run, or he busts a couple of those outside zone plays. He wasn't able to do it. I don't think he got the edge one time.
But and they tried. They tried. I mean, they did. They
They
tried
did.
throwing it to him out there on the edge. They tried getting, and every time you'd see the force guy, whether it was a corner or safety, and they'd come up hard. I mean, they weren't tiptoeing up; they were coming up
Yeah.
hard, taking on the lead blocker, forcing it back inside, and the pursuit was tremendous. You're right. It's a cliche to say all hats on the ball, but you don't
Yeah.
see it very often. I mean, at every level, guys get tired. They don't run to the football, and that guy's going to make the play. I'm not going. I don't have to push myself. I saw a lot of guys running to the football tonight, expecting, you know what, I got to be the one to make that play, and they did it. You're 100% right, and like I said, it's coach speak, hats on the ball, all that
Yeah.
stuff. But it really held true tonight, and that was, I mean, with a no-name defense and guys that haven't played a lot, that's what you have to do.
Yeah, I could almost name more guys off the Dolphins no-name defense in 72 than I could this squad. I could
You're probably right.
go back and name some of those guys. Well, I know the safeties were Jake Scott and Dick Anderson.
And I know Nick
Yeah.
Bonacani was a linebacker.
Nick Bonacani, Manny Fernandez was a defensive lineman. I'm trying to think who else was on there. But I did, again, when Lucas made a play tonight, and I'm not even talking about the fourth down play, when he made a play, I'm like, who the fuck is that?
Yeah,
Like,
I know.
what? They
Yeah.
showed his picture up on the screen. I'm like, who? Like, did I miss something here? Like, what's happening here? So to be able to plug those type of guys in and have the success that they're having, and again, these guys believe now. That belief is there. That like, hey, he's going to put in a Saul's going to put in a good game plan for us. We're going to be in the right spots. All we got to do is give maximum effort, as Deadpool would say, and they're going to be in great shape. But yeah, there were a couple of plays. I'm like, who the fuck is that guy?
And then here we are. We don't even really. We've talked a little bit about him, but we're taking for granted now Mac Jones. I
Yeah.
mean, we take it for granted that he's going to go out and he's going to play well enough to win. And I look at what's happening around the league and with backup quarterbacks, and usually the backup quarterbacks. I mean, you could look at the spread, how much it changes when they have a backup quarterback, and I don't think that's changing much with the Niners right now. I don't think the quarterback differential between Brock Purdy
Yeah.
and him is going to fluctuate the line that much. And the Niners have every opportunity to win because of him. Now, I still say it's all Purdy's team, no question. They're a better team with
Yeah.
him. But damn, this is really it's making him some money, and it's making the
Yep.
Niners feel real good about what they had, that signing.
Yeah, well, I mean, look, they win tonight, 20-10 against Atlanta, 17 for 26, 152, and like he gets the pick that goes on his ledger, but I'm going to say that wasn't his fault.
No.
And then they beat the Rams a couple weeks ago in LA, and he throws for 342. So like he's a guy, like if you feel like, okay, that's part of the game plan, we got to throw it. He can certainly do that if you can protect him just for a half beat longer.
Mhm.
But look, if you don't have to, and you just need, okay, let's take care of the ball, we're going to run the ball, we're going to do that. He can do that too. So again, I mean, you talked about this really early on. I think the first game that they won with him, like how important that signing was in the offseason, and it's just proving more and more true as the games go on. I mean, I talked about Pinheiro last week and how important that was, that they finally cut the cord on Moody. And now, the last couple weeks without Bosa, you're starting to realize like how important Huff is to this team. Like he's their one kind of twitchy guy that can get to the quarterback, and they just don't have that other guy. So to have him, I mean, think about this. I mean, Huff's probably a guy that anybody could have had. Pinheiro's certainly a guy that anybody could have had. And if somebody wanted to give Mac Jones a little bit more money, they probably could have had him too. Although Mac Jones probably wanted to come here after Sam Darnold came here, and look what happened. And he's probably thinking, let me go there and be in Shanahan's system, and maybe that can resurrect my career a little bit. And it's certainly proving true. But those three signings, which didn't get a lot of fanfare, have been critically important.
And not only that, the fact that they signed him to 2 years. I mean, that means he's locked in, we got him for 2 years. We also have the ability, we could trade him. There's some trade bait now because we have control over him. If he was a free agent, wouldn't have any control over that at all at the end of the year. But the fact that it's 2 years gives him that opportunity to the Niners, and it's good for him too. And I'm sure that if he said, "Listen, I want to go start," they'd say, "No problem, we'll figure it out for you." But to have him in your back pocket, because in this day and age, you're gonna every quarterback's gonna get hurt. I don't care who you are; they're gonna get hurt at some point. Whether they miss 3 or 4 games, a full season, who knows? And you got to have a capable backup in order to be able to stay in those games.
No doubt about it. I mean, I'm thinking, man, like Buffalo. If Josh Allen goes down, season's over. I don't even know who their backup is. I have no idea.
Mitch Trubisky.
Trubisky, good. Do you know the? And they played today. I didn't watch it at the end of the game. Who's the Chiefs' backup quarterback?
Oh, man, I saw him on the sideline. He had like longer hair. If I'm not mistaken.
Is it Minshew?
It is. It's Minshew. It's the shoe.
And by the way, how bad the fucking Raiders? How embarrassing is it that the Chiefs were taking a knee with 2:40 left to go in the game and couldn't even run out the clock? They're just like, we're done with this. We're just gonna take it. How often do you see a team take their starting quarterback out after 3 quarters? I mean, just not even. That's embarrassing when a team says, you know what, we're tired of beating you up. We're just gonna take a knee and get this game over with for you.
Well, I am gonna have to say I didn't get to see many games. I saw the Niner game today. I didn't get to see many of the other games. But you know what? It's rain. It was perfect because it started pouring down rain at the beginning of the Niner game, and so I was able. Oh, it is. I came and watched it, and it's still raining a little bit, but not bad considering it's only 3:00 in the afternoon.
Nice.
Tomorrow.
What do you get?
But it is tomorrow.
Yeah, what time? What do you got going on the rest of tomorrow?
You know what? I don't know, but somebody's knocking on my door. They keep knocking.
Do they?
I have a feeling. I gotta walk over and see.
On my door.
Oh, hello. No, not quite yet. Can you wait for just a little bit? Oh, maybe a half hour or so. Thank you very much. At least I don't have to speak different language.
Oh, it's the maids.
Yeah,
the maids. Can you say that anymore? I think you can still say maids. I think you can say maids.
I thought that might have been my brother-in-law Steve, who he was running down to drink some beer, watch the second half of the game.
Nice. I would imagine that's where you're heading shortly.
Yeah, it is. The night's young. It's Monday. It's Monday afternoon, and I just watched. When I was watching the Niner game, they were advertising Tuesday Night Football, which is actually Monday Night Football for us, but it's Tuesday Night Football here. It's one of the best things though is I was able to watch the game and not have to listen to Chris Collinsworth, because they had some guys doing the game. They must have been doing it by TV, and it was perfect though. So. Yeah.
So what you're saying is you would rather have that than listen to Chris Collinsworth?
Absolutely. I can't listen to Chris Collinsworth. He talk. I love Tirico. Tirico does a wonderful job, but I cannot listen to Collinsworth. He talks way too much, and he has a very high opinion of himself.
Oh, brother. All right. Well, we won't get into any. Yeah, go ahead.
I want to know how was your first week being 60?
Oh man, you know, it
for
didn't
everybody.
feel.
He's 60 years old.
Yeah, it didn't feel that much different. I got to be honest. It does feel weird that I'm entering my sixth decade, and it feels weird that I'm 60 and my brother Jeff is 50. Like my mom said that. She goes, "I have a 60-year-old son and a 50-year-old son," which is but no, everything it like to me, once you get to a certain age, you're like, whatever, it's just another day. Just keep moving. We'll keep moving. Not a big deal. But we had a good day. You know what? Lori took me to a concert. It was a surprise concert. B-52s and Devo.
I saw the
Devo.
hat when you sent me the picture. I go, that's got to be a Devo concert. But the guy's shirt said something like Megadeth or whatever. That's what I was looking
Dio.
at.
I
Go,
think it
what?
was a Dio
Dio,
shirt the guy
right?
might have had on. So yeah, Devo had the whole, the red hats, the red lids, the plastic lids, and the plastic or the yellow plastic jumpsuits on. So now they were good. I thought they were B-52s was pretty good. But Devo was definitely better. So I enjoyed them. They were fun to watch. That was a nice. So Lori was going to surprise me. I wasn't supposed to know until we sat down for the concert. But when you walk in there, dudes are walking around with red lids on. I'm like, of course we're
You knew who it
Devo.
is.
It's hard to miss it. So yeah, that was kind of fun. Went to see a concert at Shoreline, which is a fantastic place to go see a concert.
Yeah, that is. It's a great spot.
You want to take a couple of comments, or if you want to go to the bar, you can go to the
Sure.
bar and I can take
No,
comments.
I'm
Okay.
good. I'm good right now.
Okay.
It's like I said, it's only 3 o'clock, so I don't want to
Okay.
start too early.
I don't want to get in the way of your beer drinkings. So if
And
you
it
guys
is a
have any
weekday,
comments,
by the way.
the bars are going to be pretty clear then.
Yes, it will. How about Eddie Money?
I mean, we've talked about him now for a few weeks. The guy, it's like this. I feel like the 49er fan base is finally starting to get used to being an NFL team with a kicker that can make kicks, so you don't feel like you have PTSD every time they step out onto the field for a kick. Because not only is he making them, he's strapping them right down the middle. Like it's like straight as an arrow and going right toward the middle of the goalpost. It's like boom, good. So, I mean, he's gonna miss eventually, but it's not like they missed again. Now you feel like we're good. We got this guy. He's good to go.
And it goes to show you that drafting a kicker is probably not the way to go. Go with somebody that's got
Probably not.
experience, and sometimes guys just need a change of venue. It might, hopefully, it helps out. It works out for Mooney. I don't know if it will.
Yeah.
Hopefully it does. I never want to see a guy fail, but obviously the Niners had great success with Robbie Gould. He came in after having he got let go from Chicago a little
Yep.
bit, and they bounced around. Then he came to the Niners and really kind of found himself. Now Pinero's doing the exact same thing, and he's
Yep.
finding himself again. Obviously, he's been in the league for quite a few years. He's had success, but I think being a kicker runs its course at certain places because if you miss a few too many kicks in the wrong time, then the fan base gets to hate you, and
Yeah. Oh, no doubt.
and nothing's going to happen, and then it just runs on you.
Well, and by the way, Moody was 4 for 4 today in Chicago, and it didn't surprise me. It won't surprise me if he goes on to have a nice career, but you're already kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit when you get drafted as a kicker, because now the expectations are, okay, this guy's never going to miss. He's going to hit 55, 59, 60-yard field goals. Like he must be that good, right? They drafted him in the 3rd round, so
Yeah.
So you got that pressure. There's already enough pressure for just being a kicker. So to have that and then not get off to the great start, the fan base was already like, why'd we draft a kicker 3rd round? Why'd we get this guy? So he hasn't even done anything wrong yet, but there's already those expectations. And look, if you fail, fucking now I'm going to be really pissed. We draft a goddamn kicker in the 3rd round. Never mind the 49ers have done a lousy job drafting running backs in the 3rd round. So, but I'm with you. I wouldn't draft a kicker. Although, let me ask you this. Was Sebastian Janikowski worth a 1st-round pick with the career he had?
He was awfully good. And I still don't. I don't think it's worth a 1st-round pick to take a kicker. I mean, he might be the one guy that obviously he is. I think he's the only guy that's ever been drafted in the 1st round as a kicker, and he had a good career. but I mean, to me, he was just another guy. I mean, I don't know if I'd take him over Robbie Gold. I don't know if I certainly wouldn't take him over Vinatieri. And
Yeah, yeah,
Vinatieri, he was a free agent, and there's all of them were free agents. All these guys that were, Morton Anderson was a free agent, and everybody that's in the Hall of Fame,
yeah,
with the exception of the punter Ray Guy, I think he was drafted in fairly high. But no, I don't think it was worth a first round pick. I mean, if your kicker ends up being is a first round pick, you better have a great team,
yeah.
because if that's your biggest need, then you're pretty damn good, or you don't know what the hell you're doing in the front office. And the Raiders have shown that they have a tendency to not really know what they're
Yeah,
doing in the front office. So I don't know.
yeah.
Who am I to judge on that?
Andrew wants to know how you think Bethune did filling in for Warner.
I thought he did a great job. I mean, you can't replace Warner.
Yeah,
You're hoping that you get two or three guys to rise to the challenge to do what one guy did, because he was just all over the field. And I think that did happen. I think you saw the play of everybody rise. Winter played well. Bethune played well. I think all the combination of everybody knowing they had to step up. Like I said, it didn't replace him, but it
yeah,
certainly helped, and it's helping them in the future. And all these guys getting this playing time is going to make, and that's one thing I thought, and you and I have talked about it.
yeah,
I thought going in that the 49er depth was really going to hurt them. And with all this that's happening, they're getting so many people, a lot of experience that's going to help them, not just this year, but those guys are under contract. Most of those guys are young guys,
yeah,
and it's going to help them in the future. Because now these guys have playing time, they're not untested. You might even have some trade bait right there, guys that have shown, a capability of going out and playing. So
yeah.
this is really beneficial for them. And like I said, you can't replace Warner, but the combination of everybody did a great job.
Yeah, and let's not underestimate that Bethune is the green dot guy too. So he's got to get
Mhm.
everybody lined up. He's got to get the call in. He's got to make sure everybody's where they're supposed to be. So, for someone, it's tough enough to fill in for a guy like Warner. And again, like you said, you're never going to replace him, and he knows that. So you just go out there and play the best you can and try to get the defense also. But to have to do that and be the guy to make sure everybody's like lined up and getting the play calls in and stuff. That's a lot on your plate. I mean, I thought he had a hell of a game.
And I don't know if people understand all the stuff that they're hearing. They have the green dots going into their ears. They're trying to process. First, he's a first-time guy doing it this week. He's got to relay the call to everybody, and those calls aren't like, "Hey,
Yeah.
red right" or "blue left." I mean, there's a lot of verbiage going on, a lot of different
Yep.
words, and so many adjustments made at the line of scrimmage. And he went in there and just did a wonderful job of that. I'm sure there's times he screwed it up. We don't know. We'd have to be in those meetings to know it, but I thought
Yeah.
he had everybody in the right position. And like you said, especially on the edge, it was evident they spent a lot of time this week of setting the edge. And whoever was the edge guy, really being aggressive and coming up, because they did that better than they have all year, better than they've done in a couple of years.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Carl said, hit the cafes in Fitzroy. Best Greek food in Melbourne. So there you go.
Huge Greek. I did find out huge Greek. My brother-in-law says
Contingent?
he's like,
Really?
yes. My wife just walked in.
Oh, well.
Would you
Hey,
like to say
Chris.
hello? She said no. I don't want any part of that.
I asked Weston and Haley. I go, you can see you guys. This was before I knew Bergie was going to be able to come on with us, because I didn't think we'd be able to. And then we hooked it up. We're good to go. But I was like, hey, you guys, Weston played football. And I was like, you want to come on? He goes, nah. I go, why not? He goes, I don't know what the hell to say. I'm going to come on there and embarrass myself. So I go, Haley, come on. And Haley's like, are you kidding me? Not a chance I'm going on there. And she watched the whole game with me. Like, she sits down there and watches the whole game. Although with Haley, sometimes she'll leave at the end because she just can't handle it. She can't handle it. And now she's got the Warriors to look forward to. So it just, now it'll never stop. Her anxieties get the best of her during sporting events. She did have a real hard time handling clothes. Well, you were here for the Rams game.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. What did this from Andrew? What did the O-line do differently today to create the lanes for McCaffrey as opposed to previous games?
You know what? Not a lot. I don't think that Atlanta is is as talented as some of the defenses they've played. I mean, the Rams are
Yeah.
very talented. Tampa's very talented. Jacksonville's
Yeah.
defense is really underrated, and look at all the turnovers they've
Yep.
had. And so Atlanta's a little bit, they're not as physical up front as those teams, and I think that they didn't get the physicality didn't bother them. And in weeks past, I thought it had. I thought the 49ers brought
Yep.
it to them rather than them bringing it to us.
Yeah.
And the addition to have Kittle playing a lot of the times, if you notice,
Yep.
he was playing an H back where he was really leading up and being the blocker on that. And
Yeah.
when you put him in there with Juszczyk and then Tonjes is a third tight end, I mean, now you're talking a lot of good athletes. And and I thought it showed on the field. As I look at Steve Davidson, yes, Tom and I are playing in fantasy football this week. And I
Yes, and I'm
think I
losing.
have well, but you also have some players left, and I don't have much left. I think you're going to win.
No, you got
But
two
that's
guys
neither
left.
here nor there.
You got a running back and a kicker tomorrow night.
Yeah,
I got a quarter. Yeah, but I'm 9 points back too. You know what fucking pissed me off? I'm so not happy you brought that up, but I was fucking scuffling. Bergey's beat me all day. Then I came back and I took a projection lead, and then he came back. Then I came back, and the freaking end of the Broncos Giants game, and both those teams stink, by the way. I don't care that the Broncos came back and won that game, but the Giants got a pass interference in the end zone, so the ball at the 2. Then Peyton came out, got a personal foul for yelling at the officials, moved it to the 1. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to get a gift Scattaboo touchdown at the end of the game to give me 6 points. Now they split him out, ran dart up the middle, and touchdown. I was like, motherfucker, you got to be kidding me. So they went up, they kick the extra point, make the extra point. They go up 3. I'm thinking, okay, at least Denver can come down, kick a field goal, maybe go to overtime and get some more Scattaboo points. Nah, the Giants kicker makes the extra point. So Denver drives down the field, of course, kicks a field goal, game over. I don't even get points out of that. Well, I think you got 2 Jacobs touchdowns in the second half.
Honestly, I didn't see any of it. Obviously, it was too early.
I know you didn't.
I went to bed and it said that Jacobs was questionable. And I'm like, oh shit, should I play him? Should I not play him? So I just left him in. I didn't even know if he played until I saw the scores.
You shouldn't have played him. It would have been much nicer for me. The fucking Davies team had like 170 today. He had like guys getting 2 touchdowns like it was nothing. It was like I keep asking Weston, who's that guy's? Oh, he's on Davies' team. I'm like, God damn, how many points he have today? He's like, I don't know, he's projected for 170. 170. My team stinks, so I'm out of it. I'm pretty much out of it anyway. Stan said looked like the O-line just blocked man on man like the old days for zone blocking. I don't know. You would be able to tell when you're watching the game. It looked the same to me, but zone man, I don't know. Did you notice anything?
No, and that's a misnomer. Everybody thinks that they were never always a zone play. They ran both man and zone plays, and just they do that too now. You see the stretch play, which is the outside zone play that when McCaffrey's trying to get to the edge, he'll cut up sometimes inside the tight end. That's a zone play. When they're running it, they run some power where they're pulling guys up in the hole, they're pulling Kittle.
Yep.
Those are man plays. So if you see a guy pulling, those are man plays. If you see 2 linemen working together, that's a zone play. And Mike and Shanahan's always been known as a zone guy, and like his dad when he was in Denver made a living. And how many running backs did he have? Terrell Davis. He had
Orlando's Gary Anderson.
Gary. Yeah, so many guys that were good because they ran the zone really well, and you'd see that. And Shanahan, Mike, or his son does the same thing. Kyle does exactly the same thing, but he incorporates a lot more man-to-man stuff too, with counters and misdirection plays and. So you get a combination of both. I think they were more effective than they had been on the today with some of the man schemes, but they've always run them, and it just obviously, when things are working, and it just sometimes it works out that way that they line up exactly like you practiced. You were better than them at certain positions, and you dominated, and it shows. That's usually when it shows in the run game.
Yeah, I noticed a couple of those plays where Kittle would cut back across the formation and then crack a defensive end or, get up in the hole and block somebody. And again, that's where he is, I don't want to say most useful, but that's where he's more useful than your average tight end. Because the average tight end isn't big enough or physical enough to get up in there and really make much of a difference.
No, and I mean, honestly, receiving the ball is probably the worst thing he does. He's a good receiver, not a
Yeah,
great route runner. He's a terrific blocker. He's very fast when he gets the ball. He's a strong runner. He's not the type of guy you're going to design plays for him to run a specific route. He usually is good at the crossing routes, and getting to the spot that he's supposed to. And they design those, the misdirection plays where he's dragging across the middle. Those are his
yeah,
types of plays, but he excels in the run game, both as a H back and as a down tight end. And with him at there, when he's playing down, he's one of the few guys in the league that can take on a defensive end without help.
yeah.
Most of the guys they're looking to chip and do those types of things with him. He can handle it, both physically and he's a big guy. He's aggressive. He's strong, and that's a big bonus for the run game. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think the two best parts of his game are blocking and then run after catch. Those are the two things he excels at. In fact, he may be better than anybody in the league at run after catch and then blocking. When you consider, I'm talking about pass catching tight ends who can also block. I don't know that there's many. I don't know if he's the best since Gronk, but he's right up there near the very top. But once he gets the ball in his hands, then he becomes dangerous because he's hard as hell to bring down. But I agree with you. He's not like you wouldn't call him a super polished route runner.
No, no. And I mean, honestly, when he and Debo were out there, they were the same type of player. Debo was not a polished route
Yeah.
runner. He was terrific with the run after the catch,
Yep.
just like Kittle is, and he was a big physical blocking wide receiver. Having two guys like that out there is good in the run game, and I think that's another reason why the Niners haven't been that effective is they lost like a guy like Debo blocking on the edge. Now some receivers they're trying out there, they're working, but they're not as good and they're not as physical as he was, and people take that for granted when the guys like that are out there blocking on the edge. You lose a guy like Debo, who once again we know and Shanahan knows he doesn't run routes very well, but damn, when he gets
Yeah.
the ball, he's tough to bring down and he's going to block his ass off the whole time. So trying to replace that in the run game has been huge.
Onda says Penix needs to learn how to throw a changeup on his balls. They're coming out. All of them are hard. I don't know. I actually think Penix throws a pretty catchable ball. To be honest with you, I don't. I think he has because to me the best quarterbacks throw it as hard as they need to get it there. Like you want to have the most catchable ball you can, and we do see some guys that just flat throw rockets all the time, and you don't need to. My theory is some quarterbacks don't trust the ball being in the air that long, so they just want to get it there as quickly as possible. It's not catchable, but they're going to get it there as quickly as possible. I don't know. What did you think? I don't think Penix throws fastballs all the time.
No, I think the biggest thing is he doesn't have the quickest release. He's very long with his release, but he makes up for it with arm strength. And a tight window that's there. You have certain guys. We always talk about Marino and Favre and Mahomes. They have such a quick release.
Yeah,
Boom, it's gone. And Penix release is not that quick, so he makes up for that with arm strength, trying to hit those holes. So one of the things he probably does he has a harder time taking stuff off it because that's the way he throws every ball. But you're a professional receiver. You got to practice. If they're in practice, he does it the same way. And I'm sure if you're not catching it in practice, you're not going to catch it in a game because you're not going to play. And my guess is those are just drops. And if you're putting the ball anywhere near a professional receiver, whether it's coming hard or not, they should catch it. And
yeah,
I'm sure those receivers would be the first one to tell you that. I mean, could he take something off it? Probably, but that's just not what he does because that's not part of his style. He doesn't have that, like I said, quick release, and it's hard to go from a long release and taking something off it. That you're looking at a slow delivery of a ball if you do that. So I think everything was fine.
yeah. You gonna have a Vegemite sandwich while you're down there?
Absolutely not. I am not touching that.
What? Come on.
But my Steve, my brother-in-law, and my wife have tried it, and they both said no. And if they say no, I'm not having it either.
We got to at
I'm
least
not
try
touching it.
one.
Nope,
Come
not
on.
gonna do it.
Men at work,
I
Vegemite
no.
sandwich.
I'll tell you what, I'll try one. I'll tell you I'll try one. I'm not gonna do it, but I'll tell you I'll try one.
Is there any, and you probably don't, maybe you don't even know this yet, but you will because you're going to be there for a while. Is there any food that, like, when you go to Australia, people say, oh, you got to try this when you're in Australia? This is like a national cuisine, national delicacy, or something like that?
You know what? What I've noticed is that there's so many different ethnicities down here. I mean, we're really close to Asia, a lot closer to Asia than I thought. So you get a lot of
Yep.
people from Thailand, a lot of people from
Yep.
China, a lot of people from Vietnam, and so there's so many different types of food. The huge Greek influx here. We had Italian food the other
There you
last
go,
night,
Vegemite.
and this is the Vegemite. I'm not touching. And you know what? Maybe I'll have that in the background. A James Bogue's Premium Lager. That I would
James
try.
Bogues. There you go. I like that too. Yeah, it was interesting. When I was
That,
over in Germany, I didn't realize how big Indian food was.
yeah.
They had Indian restaurants everywhere, and I was like,
Oh,
wow.
the kebabs too.
The kebab.
Kebab
Well, the
places
kebabs were
everywhere here.
great. The sausages were great in Germany, but yeah, I mean, well, you got to have a shrimp too. You got to have a shrimp. Just say you put a shrimp on the Barbie while you're over there, just because you're in
I've had
Australia.
some already. I had
Have
some
you?
already, and they were, you know what? They tasted as good as the shrimp we have at home. But you know what? We're going to the we're going out to the Outback in 2 days, and it's raining here. It's kind of cool, not cold, but kind of. But then when we get out there, it was 108. So
Good
it's supposed to
Lord.
be 108 out there, and there's nothing around. It's in the middle of it. It's some place called Arid Rock or Andrews
Arid
Rock
rock.
or Arid something like that. It's what's it called? Uluru now. It's kind of like that McKinley versus Mount McKinley versus Denali. You know, now they call it. You have to call it something different. It's
Okay, it's like you can't call squaw anymore.
exactly that Palisades versus Squaw
Yeah,
Valley.
exactly, because it's racist or something like that. Who knows what it is? Like you, and you're going to be out there. You're going to be. Is that where you're staying in the treehouse rooms?
No, that's in the rainforest. We're going to the rainforest
Oh,
for that.
okay.
That's so because we're going to the rainforest, and then from there, after doing that, we're actually leaving to go to the Great Barrier Reef.
Nice,
We're taking a boat out there to do some snorkeling and stuff like that.
nice.
So yeah, it'd be fun. All of
Say
it's
hi to the
fun.
great whites. Say hi to the great
Yeah,
whites
well,
when you're out there.
if I see if there's anything within 100 miles, I'm not getting in.
100.
You know,
Well, there will be something with 100 miles. I'm pretty sure there'll be
well,
something within 100 miles of you.
to keep it in you know the mode of the podcast here, my calves, they're like caviar to sharks.
Oh,
They
they
want to
are.
eat them.
Yes. Yeah. You
It's
know
a
what's great about your
delicacy.
calves though? Buoyant. You're never gonna drown.
No,
You would never Fergie would never
I
drown. His calves will keep him afloat.
I can almost stand on the water.
You absolutely could. Yeah, the calves. Oh, the sharks would love those calves. You kidding me? You
Caviar.
get on there,
Get
that'd be a
it?
whole meal
Caviar.
put to him. Thank you. I
Here, I'll
appreciate
wait.
it. All right, man. Well, I'll let you go. I appreciate you jumping on with me. That was fun.
No, it's fun. Yeah, it's fun. It's good win. Always fun to talk after a win. That's for sure. It's a lot easier.
Absolutely. You know, you could tell Patrice she could jump on if she wants to. She's more than welcome.
Yeah. No, she's over there. She's not paying attention. She was yelling at me for saying the wrong thing, not Uluru, whatever it was.
Oh,
Very
geez,
PC.
Christmas.
You know, she's very PC.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because like the listeners would know. Like, oh, Berg, you can't call it Uluru. What is that?
No, I know. I
You
can't
can't
do
do
that.
that anymore.
Can't do
my
that.
God. Well, like I said this yesterday. I was talking to your good friend and mine, Steve Kerr, and we were talking about college football because we always text college football Saturday, go back and forth. And I was watching the BYU Utah game, which is the Holy
War. Yeah.
or Texas Oklahoma a couple weeks ago, the Red River Shootout, not the Red River Rivalry. People don't decide to shoot people because they hear a game's called the Red. I go, they can take my games away. They can't take my nickname rivalry game names away from me. I go, they take those out of the out of the clutches of my cold, dead hands because it's still the Civil War, it's still the Holy War, and it's still the Red River Shootout. Period. I don't care what anybody says. Those are the names, and I'm sticking with them.
Well, how about the world's biggest cocktail party?
Yeah, you can't call it that anymore either. You can't. Like, oh yeah, I mean, they call it something different because underage drinking. Because I heard after they changed the name of that from the world's largest outdoor cocktail party to whatever it is now, it lowered the consumption of alcohol by underage kids in college. 0% is would have lowered it 0%. It's like, really? We're gonna. You can't call it the. What are we doing? You can't call it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. I mean, please, don't they? Don't I mean, what is that something that concerns somebody that says, you know what, we should probably change that because that's offensive to who? Who's it offensive to?
Nothing's really offensive to me. I mean,
Of course.
it's whatever it is. I mean, I don't care. People, and especially comedians. Comedians get a bad rap. They're comedians for a reason. And I'm going to watch them and laugh. And if you can't laugh at things, then we got trouble.
You're supposed to ruffle some feathers. If you're not ruffling feathers as a comedian, you're doing it wrong.
You're not a comedian if that's the case.
No, absolutely not. You probably better look into another line of work. All right, my friend, we'll let you go. I appreciate you joining us. And
you bet.
Again, whenever you're available, we'll be more than happy to have you on after the games. Check your schedule next week. If you're available, cool. If not, we will sally forth without you, but you will be missed.
I will talk to you this week and revel in that Niner win.
There you go. All right, brother. Have a good day.
All right. You too.
All right. See you, Bergie.
All right. See you. Bye.
Oh, that was fun. Bergie live. You know who just rolled through here? Hold on a second. I got to unplug this. My fountain ran out of water. Sounds like a goddamn oil derrick back there. It's not pumping water anymore. I'm just sitting out here doing the show and the damn bunny rolled by. What time is it? 9:40? Bunny's getting extended run tonight. Holy cow. Weston came out and looked for her earlier and she was nowhere to be found. So he goes, hey, you can just bring her in when you get done with the show. And I go, yeah, I'll bring her in. I got her. And so I got to make sure I bring the bunny in. So if you guys got any more comments, I'm just chilling out by the fire, man. How do you think Mac Jones and CMC performed tonight? Yeah, Shanahan's been incredible. Shanahan's been really good this year. I don't want to say it's his best coaching job yet. It's his best coaching job through 7 games. I don't know. All I know is he's doing a hell of a job. He's doing a hell of a job. Solid's doing a hell of a job. The guys that are filling in for the guys that are hurt are doing a hell of a job. I was going to look real quick to see what the upcoming schedule is, the schedule for the Niners. But yeah, I mean, Jones was fantastic. He's had bigger statistical nights, but that interception he threw was, I'm going to say, partly on Juwan Jennings. And CMC was just, it's kind of what you expect out of CMC. It's pretty incredible. But that's how good he is. That's how good that guy is. When he can have over 200 yards, 200 scrimmage yards, you're like, yeah, a nice effort. So they got the Texans next week in Houston, and then at Giants, and then home against the Rams. And then I don't know if like a week 13 bye week's like what you want, or I guess week 14. I guess that's pretty good if you get there in decent shape with a good record. Refresh, get everybody going, and then you got Tennessee, Indy, Chicago, and Seattle. See, that's the thing about predicting wins. Because you look at that, you're like, oh, at Indy. Before the season. Oh, at Indy. Okay, we got that one. That should be good. Indy's good. Indy beat the shit out of the Chargers today. It wasn't even close. They just up and down the field on the Chargers. Like, Indy's legit. I don't know. They're not Super Bowl legit, but they're like get to the playoffs and they could do some things legit. Like, put it this way. I don't care who they're playing in the playoffs. At Buffalo, at Kansas City, at whoever. If they were to get like a touchdown against anybody, I'd take them. Maybe even 6 points. Like, you're good. That's a good football team. I had the Chargers today. It didn't work out well for me. You just, you watch a game about like a quarter and a half through, you're like, Colts are better. And granted, the Chargers are banged up too. Offensive line banged up, all that. But after watching the Niners, I almost feel like I don't want to hear your excuses anymore. I don't want to hear we're banged up. That's why we like that. I'm banged up. The Niners are as banged up as anybody. They're 5-2 right now. Does this win change the perspective? Does it change anything for the Niners in adding talent? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I don't know how. I don't know. I'd like to say yes, it does. No, it doesn't. But look what they did. They held the Falcons at 10 points. And again, the one touchdown drive was what, 45 yards? Something like that. After the long kickoff return. They gave up nothing. So, I mean, it'd be nice to have another defensive end to go alongside Huff. It's all a matter of what you have to give up versus what you're getting. So, I don't know. I think anytime you can make your team better, and it's a cliche that GMs use in every sport, we're always looking to make our team better. Yeah, we get that. We know that. But it is true. If you can do something that makes your team better. Now, how much risk do you want? How much future equity do you want to give up? The Niners are kind of in the mode right now of like, let's keep our draft picks. Let's lower some cost here. We're paying a ton of money to dudes that, maybe 5-6 guys. I don't know what the 5-6 guys on the team make up in terms of salary cap. When you consider Lenore, Warner, Bosa, Williams, Ayuk, Kittle, Purdy. It's like 7 guys. They got to make up, I don't know if it's 50%. That might be too high, but it's a lot. It might be 50. It might be more than 50. There's a lot. So they're like, we need to draft. We need to draft well. And so far they have. I mean, so far the young guys are playing really well for them this year. And they needed that. They had to have that. Can you imagine if the young guys they drafted weren't playing well with all the injuries they've had? They'd be out of it by now. They'd probably be like 2-5. It'd be brutal. But the young guys are playing well. The young guys are getting it done on defense. And whatever Saleh is able to do with these guys, it's working. It absolutely is working. So, yeah, I don't know. Onda says, which team had the best win in college football yesterday? Probably Vandy. Like, Vandy looks good. I don't know if Diego Pavia is going to win the Heisman. He struck the pose yesterday. But, you look around, you're like, I don't know. I don't know who's going to win the Heisman this year. I thought Carson Beck they got beat by Louisville. Ohio State. Julian Sands probably not going to win it. Smith hasn't had a huge year. Moore, the quarterback, Dante Moore for Oregon. They lost their first game, so Indiana beat them. Maybe Mendoza from Indiana. Go figure. Guy that comes from Cal goes to Indiana and maybe in line to win a Heisman. But yeah, that was probably the best win. Georgia's so different now. Georgia's like an offensive team now. I mean, Ole Miss carved them up. Just up and down the field carved them up. Because Ole Miss couldn't stop Georgia, and Georgia just kept coming. Georgia's running game was better. That was the difference. The running game was better, and they were able to rely on that the entirety of the game. Where Ole Miss kind of here, kind of there, but it wasn't as dominant as Georgia's and wasn't as consistent as Georgia's. A little bit like the Notre Dame USC game. I mean, I always screw up his name, the USC quarterback. I don't know why I screw up his name. It's Maivia, I believe. I'm going to get it right. I hate when I screw up people's names, especially when I just got done watching them play. That's a shame if that game's going away, by the way. I know people say, oh, yeah, you rivalry games. We'll get new rivalry games. Yeah, Maivia. Jaden Maivia. He was good last night. The receivers are fantastic. Jacoby Lane's fat. I like him. I like Lemon. I think he's really good. They're missing their top 2 running backs, but they hung in there, had a chance. They did take the lead, 24-21 toward the end of the game. Kickoff return. Brutal. You score to take the lead, then you give up a kickoff return. But Notre Dame's, whether you like it or not, Notre Dame's going to be in the playoffs. They got Jack coming up. So, I mean, Two best teams they played, they're going to lose to A&M, Miami. They beat USC, and I don't think they have much coming up. Bama looked good. Bama looked good against Tennessee. Simpson may be the Heisman front runner. He may be the Heisman front runner. They may have the best receiving core in the country. Jeremy Bernard, Williams, Scott. I mean, they got really good receivers there. And then Jam Miller, I like him too. So if their defense plays good, I think, Bama's going to be right in there. Who would have thought after losing to Florida State? And Florida State, did you really lose to Stanford? You lost to Stanford. I mean, sorry, Cardinal. But, I mean, come on. Florida, when's the last time you won an ACC game? I'm waiting. So, yeah. But I watched like 5 games yesterday and didn't start till 4. And I won't tell you why. Because it's not a surprise, but kind of is. But it's not, anyway, moving on. Was I surprised Atlanta threw it on 4th and 1? Not really. They had no success running the ball. I mean, if you're going to run the ball, you probably bring in Algier there and run him up the middle because he's more of a tank than Bijan Robinson. Not nearly as good, obviously, but they were really good. And I want to say the play before that, it was a 3rd and 2, and Bijan Robinson got the ball and got 1 yard. So I don't think they were feeling all that confident that they could hand the ball off and get that first down. So, no, I wasn't surprised. And I think it was to London. You got to figure, right? London, Lucas, you're good. I mean, I'm sure that's what they were thinking. And Lucas, again, made a huge play, massive play, one of the biggest plays of the game. So, not really, not that surprised. If Atlanta had been running the ball better and more consistently, then, yeah, I would be surprised. But they weren't. And so, anywho. So, tomorrow, Brent Jones is going to join us. And Wednesday could be like a monster, like all-time show. Although I'm not sure exactly what's gonna transpire. We could have our first edition of a show that we're gonna have frequently. We could have a old guest come on. I could have 2 old guests come on that I talked to many times when I was doing the radio. Actually, all 3 of them. If we get all 3 of them, then all 3 of them would be the guys that I talked to multiple times on the radio show. So looking forward to Wednesday. Looking forward to tomorrow. It's always fun talking to Brent Jones, especially after a win. He'll be super fired up for the show tomorrow, I'm sure. So it'll be fun to talk to Brent. And goddamn, I think 10 o'clock already? Holy cow. We got after it a little bit. late night show. I had to get in there and watch the baseball game. Now I forgot it was on. It was like 3rd quarter. I was like, oh man, I got a baseball game to watch. And if you guys pop the score up on the screen, I will drive over to your house and kill you. And that's exactly what I'll do. I will drive over there and straight up murder you and go to jail. And actually, no one would convict me. No one would convict me for doing that. And so anyway, I want to thank everybody for joining us. Really appreciate it. It's fun doing the show out here. I miss Bergie over here, but it was fun having him from Australia. I love the fireplace. Love having Mike hang out with me. Weather's nice out here. It's nice and warm. So it's fun coming out here and doing the post game with you guys. And again, show is brought to you by Fieldwork, the official non-alcoholic craft beer of your San Jose Sharks. I want to thank Fieldwork. I love Fieldwork. I'm going to go have a Fieldwork right now. Maybe I'll go have one of their Oktoberfest. This one I had was from Ghost Town, called Pale Horse. Very tasty. I did enjoy this. Ghost Town makes some good beer. They're opening up a brewery right here in Alameda. I don't know when, but it should be coming pretty soon, so that'll be fun. I love beer. And if it's convenient, I love it even more. Thanks for joining. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I appreciate it. Have a great evening, and hopefully you can stop on by tomorrow when we have Brent Jones. Until tomorrow, see ya.